How's it going, Rogues Gallery, and welcome to another Sorcery Contested Realm video here on Red Zone Rogue. Today, we're going to be opening up and reviewing the brand new Sorcery Gothic pre-constructed decks. Specifically, this is called the Prophets of Doom, and this has an MSRP of $66.60 or something like that. It's very, very on theme with the general vibes that these decks are giving off. But we're going to open this up and talk about if I think it is worth it or not. If you would like to see my opinions on the previous Sorcery pre-constructed decks, well, I have some videos here. They're a little old since the last time we had one of these was a couple of years ago. So go ahead and check that video out if you'd like to see, you know, the other precons. I'll put a link to the beta ones because the alpha precons, you can't really buy them anymore. You know, I'll put a link to both of them down below in case you'd like to see the alpha ones too. But yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and open these up. The previous ones I thought were quite good. So let's see if this one lives up to those standards. Sorcery is just a very, very premium game with a lot of care and attention given to it. So let's check it out. All right, so here are the Prophets of Doom up close and personnel, kid. Here is the back. We have the Necromancer, the Persecutor, the Harbinger, and the Savior. These are the four decks that come inside. These are what they say ready-to-play decks, but we'll talk about that because, well, we'll count the cards and we'll see, because an actual Sorcery, like fully constructed deck, consists of a 60-card main deck or spell book, and then a 30-card atlas, or like you can think of it like a side deck for your resources, plus another 10-card collection, kind of like a sideboard-esque thing that you can access via certain cards. And I don't think these decks have those numbers, so you can think of these as kind of like little mini decks, sort of, or more like limited decks. It says, Sorcery Contested Realm is an old-school TCG for players with a rich imagination, tactical nerve, and an appreciation for hand-painted art, created by Eric's Curiosa Limited. All right, so let's go ahead and crack into this, and we'll talk about that. I do want to mention that because I don't want folks to be like, oh yeah, now I have a fully built Sorcery deck. But Sorcery is also kind of not the kind of game where it matters all that much. It's a very... I don't want to use the word casual because it has negative connotations in a lot of, games that can be competitive. You can play Sorcery competitively, but it's a game that just oozes fun and really focuses on the player experience and the player narrative. And I think these will likely help with that. The previous decks did that as well. Now, I want to mention the previous decks also did not have full decks as well. So let's go ahead and check this out. You have this very nice box. Inside we have the four decks, Harbinger, Savior, Necromancer, and Persecutor. So we'll go ahead and take these all out. Oh, that looks really cool. I do believe all the art for the avatars for this are different from the main booster set for Gothic, and they're all done by one of my favorite artists, Dan Seagrave. There's a lot of like metal album covers. Dude absolutely rules. Here we have a little like promo pack thing. This looks very similar to the one that we get in the booster box, the Gothic booster box. We'll check that out. This one is the Necromancer deck. Very, very nice. We also have the Savior. Yeah, the art is just absolutely incredible. And then finally, last but not least, oh, that looks sick. This one is the Harbinger. I think the Harbinger is very, very cool. Yeah. All right, so that's a quick little look. We also have a how to play booklet. I really love that they include this. This is the rest, by the way. This box is the same style box that the previous starters came in, and is really, really useful for just keeping these decks together as kind of like a battle box, which is super cool because these deck boxes, you can actually fit sleeved cards in these. And so what I personally do is I sleeve the decks up, stick them back in these little boxes, and stick these all back in here, and you have a nice little complete, playable box set that you can, play Sorcery with friends. So you don't actually have to buy boosters or anything like that. You can even treat this just like a board game, which is totally viable, and the game really lends itself to that kind of experience. Or you can kind of buy into the TCG thing and buy packs and singles and all that kind of good stuff. But you don't have to. And that's one of the great joys of Sorcery. It's kind of what you make of it. So anyway, yeah, I just wanted to mention this. Good quality, sturdy box. Looks really nice. Set that aside. Let's take a look at the how to play before we check out the decks. I love when TCGs do this, and this is a really robust. Oh man, this is a pretty robust how to play booklet. It's full color. How many pages is this thing? Yo, look at that. 15 pages with a glossary. It's come a long way, I'll tell you that much. I actually helped pre-alpha playtest Sorcery, and the rules have come a long way since then. I gave Eric a lot of feedback originally. Great feedback. He was super receptive. I'm not going to claim that I made a lot of sweeping, meaningful changes or anything, but I did help playtest and give feedback. And it's just awesome to see where the game has come since then. So, yeah, this is very, very cool. I do know that some of the rules have changed a little bit since I, helped playtest and all that kind of stuff. So having something like this that looks like it's very in-depth is really, really good. And then also have a QR code for the complete rules is also very good. I know they're very good with that. I keep saying very good. They're quite good with that kind of stuff these days. So absolutely love that this is just in here. A lot of TCGs are just like, yo, here's a QR code, go scan it. I love having the actual book. This is cool. It kind of goes with that old school kind of sentiment. All right, let's check out the little pack here. I think this is mostly just going to consist of tokens and some reference cards and that sort of deal, because I think this is, like I said, the same thing that comes in the Gothic booster box as the box topper. So I'd imagine we have some frog tokens, and we have some skeleton tokens, maybe some rubble, all that kind of good stuff that you'll need. So here we have the little tiny tokens. These are hilarious. So we have a bunch of skeleton tokens. These are going to be great for the Necromancer. These also double as ward tokens. You'll need these. And then we have some frogs. And on the back, we have some stealth tokens. Cool. So these will be useful. I love these tiny little goofy tokens. And then here we have a kind of a breakdown of some new mechanics. Ward and evil. Evil is just referring to minions that are demons, monsters, or undead. And then ward basically means that it absorbs an ability from your opponent, right? So it says, if a warded site or unit would be damaged, destroyed, or targeted by an opponent's spell or special ability, the ward breaks instead. So it's kind of like, what do you call it, in Divine Shield in Hearthstone, right? So yeah, kind of like a little primer. And on the back, collection. This talks about the 10 card collection, as well as the 60 card spellbook and 30 card atlas that is kind of standard for deck construction. Then we also have some cards. Ooh, so we got multiple copies here. So it's a little bit different actually, and Shogoth. All right, so it's a little bit different than the booster box. So I do believe the booster box only came with one of each of some of these, and not any of these here. And I think I know what these ones are for. So this is your collection, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You can pick 10 of these to make a collection. For some of the decks here, you'll want to have the Hellhounds in your collection, or the Knight, or whatever, because some cards will be oh, you can summon a Hellhounds from your collection. So you just kind of pull it in. Think of it like I said, kind of like a sideboard, kind of like an extra deck. So these Hellhounds, they're just 3 cost, 1 fire threshold, 3 power. And then we have the Penitent Knight, same deal, just for earth. Horrible Hybrids, same deal, but for water. And then Ghouls, the same deal, but for air or wind. And then we have these Townsfolk. They're just kind of simple 1 cost, 2 power Townsfolk, but there's a card that just summons both of them from your collection. And then Shogoth, a 6 cost, 5 power Submerge Voidwalk, kind of a beast here. And I think there are some stuff that lets you summon this from your collection, so that's pretty cool. You'll need these. Think of these all kind of extra little token type stuff. So that's that's great. One noticeable thing that this doesn't come with that some of the older ones do, or some of the previous ones, is a booster pack. So no booster pack, but we do get some like little tokens and such. So, all right, let's crack into our first deck. Now, of course, these are pre-constructed decks. The cards are not randomized. This one does say, usher in a dark era as Harbinger. Contains a starter deck for a single player, 1 avatar, 16 atlas, and 36 spell book cards. And it has an avatar complexity of 3 here. So yeah, we do not have a full deck. And I do like how this card at least tells you what like a full deck is, you know? In tournaments, we recommend a 10-card collection that adheres to rarity rules in combination with your 60-card spellbook and 30-card atlas. So I like that it at least kind of tells you, like, hey, this is what a tournament rule set is. But, as I mentioned, this is the kind of game that lends itself to be played just at the kitchen table with your friends or family. And you don't really care about that kind of stuff. Or you can maybe combine some of the decks and maybe some booster packs or something to make up, you know, that the deck size. So avatar complexity 3. I'm curious what the other ones say. So here, this one is the Savior. This one says, deliver us from evil as Savior. It contains the thing, and it's 1 of 3 complexity. All right, so the Harbinger they think is on the far more complicated side. So we have 1, we have 3. This one, oh, this one's so sick. This is the Necromancer. Raise an undead army as Necromancer, another 1 complexity. And then this one is, I think this is going to be a little bit more complex. This is the Persecutor. Punish the wicked as Persecutor. This is the 2 difficulty. All right, so you have 2 1 difficulties, a 2 difficulty, and a 3. That's a pretty good smattering of things. And we'll go from least complicated to most complicated. So let's go ahead and open up the good old Savior here. This is going to have a lot of cards, I believe, that use the new ward mechanic, which is kind of like the mechanic that absorbs one of your opponent's effects or attacks or damage or whatever. As I mentioned, these deck boxes, they're not like super sturdy. They're just kind of like paper deck boxes. But in the past, I have just sleeved up my decks and then stuck them back in here. And there's no reason to think that wouldn't work with these. You just take out the little foam insert and you're good to go. Well, after you sleeve it up. Or you can put them back in here without the boxes, or whatever permutation that you see fit. All right, so here we have the Savior. God, the Dan Seagrave art, so good. We're not going to like literally read every card verbatim, but we'll check them out because, hey, that's the point of this video. So here we have our avatar, the Savior. This one lets us ward minions that were summoned this turn, which is really cool. We have some Elfheim townsfolk, and then some Sarava townsfolk. Beautiful Quentin Hoover artwork. Legendary fantasy artist there. We have some Night Watchmen. They ward sites. Yeah, that makes sense. We have this makeshift barricade. I think this card's hilarious. Look at this chicken. Look at that chicken right there. Enduring Faith. If you're curious what the rarities are in Sorcery and how to tell the rarities, it's actually on the type line here. It's really unique. So this one is Night Watchman. Ordinary mortals walk the graveyard shift. Now, that ordinary, that means this is a common card, and you can have up to 4 copies in your deck. So these ones are also ordinary. The next one up is going to be exceptional. So like this Enduring Faith here. This is, you can consider this an uncommon. You can have 3 of each copy in your deck. We have, this is the top end here. So let's show off this one. This Malachim. This is an elite. An elite you can think of as a rare. You can have 2 copies of any given rare in your deck. They tend to be a lot more powerful. And then we also have unique. Uniques speak for themselves. You can only have 1 of each unique in your deck. This one's really cool. Golden Dawn. Essentially, very, very Lord of the Rings flavor, right? You know, you have the Rohirrim arriving at Helm's Deep kind of situation. So you deal out your top spells, 1 to each site in your back row. So you have 5 spaces in your back row. So you deal 1 each. And then summon any that are minions and put the rest at the bottom of your deck. And then if you're on Death's Door, they all gain charge. Really, really cool effect. So yeah, that is one of the uniques. And this elite here has Airborne and Ward, 6 cost, 3 Earth Threshold, and the 4 power there. And then at the end of your turn, untap him. Yo, seems pretty good. Yeah, seems great. I got this Town Priest, Virgin and Prayer. This is kind of like the good guy deck. We're going to see a lot of bad guys. Revered Revenant. Angel Ascendant. This is another elite. Pretty sweet. Survivors of Sarava. Muddy Pigs. Yo, they're just chilling. Look at these little piggies. Piggies just chilling, dude. Mayor of Milborn. Another elite. I haven't seen this one in the main set. Very nice. I'm pretty sure it is in the main set. I just haven't run across it myself yet. Order of the White Fang. Guardian Angel. Rowdy Boys. We have Search Party. 3 copies of them. Monks of Kolbasa. We got some Weathered Trunk. So this is water. So this deck is featuring both earth and water. We have Faith Incarnate. Has +2 power for each ward in the realm. Very cool. Flame of the first one. So this is another unique card. So this deck actually has 2 uniques. That's pretty sweet. Some of the beta decks didn't. I think they had like maybe 1 unique per deck. So getting 2 here is pretty sweet. Wave of Eviction. This card's pretty cool. It like pushes things in a line. We have Baptize, Divine Lance, Holy Nova. Smite's a really sweet removal. And then we have some cards. So this one is Trouble Town. Lets you cast a townsfolk from your collection to this site. So this is one of the cards that lets you go cast something from your collection. It's pretty sweet. We have Blessed Village, Blessed Well, Autumn Bloom will be nice for getting that water threshold. Algae Bloom, once again, good for getting that water threshold. We have a Consecrated Ground. Evil has no power here. Well, yeah, because it's consecrated, right? We have Fertile Earth. Oh, Mudslide. We also have a good old classic Stream. Just a stream. And then we have the Valley. Oh no, we have another card too. So we have 2 valleys, and then we have the Forlorn Keep. This also lets you play. This lets you play the Penitent Knight on Genesis. Very cool. So if you like you want to play a deck that's more like Holy Warriors, that type of stuff, this is a good deck for that. And it's you always have the ability to pay an extra 1 when you play a dude to give them that ward, which is really, really nice. All right, let's take a look at. We were doing like most complicated or least complicated to most. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Necromancer deck. I know this one's going to be a big fan favorite for a lot of folks out there. This is a deck you summon a lot of skeletons. You saw these little skeleton tokens over here? Yeah, we're going to be pumping those dudes out. All right, let's once again same kind of deal as the previous. All right, yo, look at that. That looks so good. That looks so good. So what the Necromancer does is once on your turn, you can pay 1 to summon a skeleton token. You just get to do it. That seems really sweet. We have some Bone Spears. You get to sacrifice undead and shoot like a projectile that deals 3 damage, which is really cool. Very, very Diablo flavor. Draconian Bone Kite. So this is one of the uniques in this deck. Look at this thing. 7 cost, 7 power, airborne. Tap and deal 3 damage to each other unit at a nearby location. Summon a skeleton token there for each unit that died. That's rad. That is extremely rad. I was called it Bone Drone. No, Bone Jumble. Bone Jumble. We got Foul Bones. Bitter Departed. Got some Ignited. These just come into play. They have charge so they can attack immediately, then they just die. Good to use these for other like sacrifice effects because they're undead. So you can have these come in, attack, do their thing, and then you can use something like your Bone Spear to sack them and deal extra damage, which is pretty sweet. Novice Necromancer, I like this card. It's just a 2 cost, 1 power spellcaster that summons a skeleton when you play him. Pretty good. Noxious Corpse has lethal, good at killing big stuff. We have this mummy with cool Brahm artwork. Got the Screamer. This is the booster pack art from the Gothic set. We have Snallygaster, kind of a nice little dude. Stygian Archers, rad, absolutely rad. Hot Wheel, for those from soft players. Order of the Pale Worm. Nearby sites and units lose ward, so good anti-ward tech for the Savior matchup. Got Dreadwing, Vesper Swarm, Those Who Linger. God, yeah, this deck is awesome. I think this card's sweet too. The Master Necromancer. Spellcaster, Genesis, summon a skeleton token to each other adjacent site. So you get 4 skeletons if you put this in the right spot. Would be Stitched Abomination. Detonate. Another one that you can just destroy one of your own dudes to deal some damage. Really sweet. Witching Hour pumps up all of our evil spellcasters and spirits. And they also gain Airborne. Pretty good. Got a Kiss of Death. Got a couple copies of Kiss of Death. Maybe cast by spirits and undead. Kill target minion here. Yeah, pretty good. A Carrionet. The Necronomicon. This card is crazy. Yeah, I like it. That's a good one. Panpipes of Pnom. Damage caused by nearby units is increased by 2. Yeah, pretty good. Especially if you have a ton of skeletons. Got a Corpse Catapult. And then we have our sites. So we have a couple open mausoleums. We have the Bloom, the Twilight Bloom. All the blooms add like all of the other thresholds for the turn that is not native to the site. So that was kind of cool. We have Desert Bloom. Once again, Bloom adds the extra stuff. The Accursed Desert. I call this one the Cool Desert. This one looks awesome. Breaks nearby wards. This deck is good at breaking those wards. Accursed Tower. Breaks the wards. Den of Evil. Great Diablo reference. We have a Dread Thicket. Vast Desert. We got just the good old Spire. So we have a couple copies of Spire. We have a couple copies of Wasteland. We have this Sold Out Cemetery. This card's really cool. Whenever an undead enters this site, push another undead away, like 1 step away. So you can keep pumping out the skeletons every turn from your Necromancer and then pushing other things away, which is pretty sweet. Get free moves. We got a Forsaken Crypt. And then finally, the Darkest Dungeon. This card is so sweet. So this is the other unique that you get in this deck. Genesis, the next time an ally strikes an avatar this turn, drag both here this able. Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, this deck is cool. This deck is really cool. I definitely like the Necromancer deck quite a bit. I like it quite a bit. Also has like Fire and Air, which are like some of my favorite combinations in this game. All right, let's take a look at the Persecutor next. This one is all about branding your opponent's things as evil and then getting bonuses for dealing with evil things. So this is kind of a good guy deck, but you know, it's all relative. So you can think of this having like two good guys and 2 bad guys, but like I said, it's relative. It's all perspective. Yeah, the deck is really cool though. I think if you like avatars that can do like cool movement tricks, I think Persecutor is really sweet. So it says, once on your turn, Persecutor may step towards the closest evil or brand an enemy so your cards treat them as evil this turn. So you can be like, yo, that thing is evil. And then if you have something that's like, kill an evil thing, then it's evil. Kill it. Or you can have the Persecutor move towards evil things, which is really sweet. Once again, Dan Seagrave artwork. Amazing. We have Bind Evil. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff that, you know, cares about things being evil. We have Shackled Demon. This one is really sweet. Just a big old demon, and it's disabled until an adjacent spellcaster taps to release him. Got an Angry Mob, a Flagellant, 1-shot wizard, does a little bit of damage maybe. Got the Flaming Skull, sweet artwork. Holy Warrior. So this one is a Fire and Earth, if you couldn't tell. And we do have some ward stuff here. Kissers of Wounds. Lesser Blood Demon. Yeah, this is a deck that kind of mixes the demons and the good guys. Redmane Hyena. That's a pretty nice one. It can be like an extra like +2 power. Wild Fanatic, just a fast crazy dude. Intrepid Hero. I like this one. Lethal to Evil. Once again, works really well with our avatar. Martyrs of Tomorrow. Deathrite Warden allied minion. We have a Mazuj Ifrit. This one's a pretty sweet elite demon. It's a pretty powerful card, but you take some damage every turn, or you lose some life every turn. Oh, Fallen Angel. One of my favorite arts in the set that I've seen so far. Art by Braum. Just absolutely amazing. Gives all of our allied demons +1 power. Pretty cool. We have a Flayer. Greater Blood Demon. So to go with the Lesser Blood Demon. We have Zeppelin of Zealots. We have the Cherubim. A really, really cool elite card. I like how sometimes the angels in this are kind of like, you know, the biblically accurate angels. They're just like, kind of like monsters, basically. Undesirables. Trial by Stone is Trial by Fire. I gotta say it. Flame Strike. This is another one of my favorite arts, dude. This might be my favorite ordinary art in the set. Oh, it's so good. This set made me a fan of Pedro Ferreira, the artist here. Oh, it's so good. We got Lash. Wreathed in Righteousness. A really cool, like, flavorful card. You protect stuff in the middle of a point and then deal damage to everything around it. Yeah, pretty sweet. Blaze of Glory. This is a sweet unique. It's a 3-cost, 2 fire threshold. An ally fights each enemy near it one at a time. It doesn't die until it's done. That's such an awesome card. Such an awesome effect. I'm a big fan of the Blaze of Glory here. We have Release the Hounds. Another really cool one. This one summons Hellhounds from the collection. Here's some Holy Water. Toss that Holy Water. Banish some evil. Once again, we can make things evil. Blade of Thorns. Peacemaker Arbalest. Nice. I like the equipment type stuff. And then we have some Vast Deserts. We have some Desert Blooms. Autumn Bloom. Blessed Village. And a Hillside Chapel. Consecrated Ground. Evil has no power here. Once again, we can be like, yo, that thing is evil. We have an Active Volcano. This is one of the 2 threshold site cards that was recently added to the game. These are really, really good. This is a really nice card. We also have some valleys. We have a couple wastelands. We have this Road to Perdition, which is a really, really cool card. Genesis, target nearby evil gains or loses 1 power this turn. Sweet. And then we have Purgatory. This is our other unique. Whenever an evil minion dies nearby, its controller loses 1 life. Yeah, sweet. So this is, you know, this could hurt us if we have some evil stuff, which we definitely do. But we can also make our opponents' things evil and make them lose extra life, which is pretty sweet. And then we have the Molten Mar. This is one that lets us cast Hellhounds from our collection. So as you can see, each of these decks has 2 uniques, which is pretty cool. All right, and then last but not least, this is the Harbinger. This might be my second favorite of the decks. It's pretty close with the Necromancer. The Necromancer is also another of my favorites. But honestly, from what I've seen and the limited amount that I have played with these, I think they're all really fun. And I think they're all, well, I don't want to say viable, but like, I think you just, you know, if you're playing with a friend, each person just picks one that they like and just jam some games and swap it around, and everyone can try a different deck and see what you like. And that's one of the big joys of a product like this that has 4 decks to play. You have a lot of gameplay hours here, right? Because you have 4 decks in a box, and you can play a lot of 1v1, but you can also play just a lot of multiplayer sorcery as well, like even up to 4 players, which is sweet. All right, so here's the Harbinger. This one says, on setup, so at the start of the game, determine 3 random squares. Once on your turn, you can cast a minion to one of them for 1 less. Super sweet. I love the kind of random nature of it. You can get sites near you, or squares near you, or near your opponent. I don't know. It's sweet. I like the Harbinger. This really leads itself to playing like big dudes. All right, so we have Willing Tribute, 10-ton Slug. Hey, look, speaking of big dudes. We also have Yog Sothoth, an elder god from Lovecraftian, lore. 7-drop, 10 power, unique monster, transcends comprehension, occupies all locations safely, is banished without 5 voids, ignores the abilities of sights. Crazy card. Crazy card, dude. Yeah, I like it. I like it. We have the Falling Star, cool elite aura. kind of like waits around and then lands, deals some damage. Well, no, it doesn't deal damage. You summon a minion from your hand at top of the site, and then it strikes things. So yeah, it's like you can do like Yogg, and then boom, 10 damage. I don't know, it's sweet. We have Shogoth, 2 Shogoths. We have Ghost Crabs, Kegon Ghost Crabs. That's sick. It's really cool. We have a couple Forsaken, a couple Sea Witch. We have a Static Servant, Mesmer Demon. This is a pretty nice one. Nomo Monitor. This is a decent one too. We got some Slimy Mutants. Bound Spirit. Dormant Monstrosity. Pretty sweet elite here. Another Bound Spirit. The same Bound Spirit. Put that one over there. We have a Frozen Horror. Lacuna Entity. Another pretty sweet elite. This is the deck. If you want the horrible monsters and stuff, this is the deck. Like I said, I like this deck. Harkening Kraken, another piece of art by Braum. Got the Gnarled Wendigo, Gift of the Frog, Summon a Frog, draw a card. Yeah, pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. We have some Ice Shards. Monster Morphosis. This is a kind of interesting one. Good old swap. I like the tricky stuff like this. This one you swap a location of a minion or artifact with another minion or artifact. So you can swap one of your opponent's big things into your, like, kill box or something. Or you can swap one of your things that has like lethal into their big stuff. Abyssal Assault. Into the Abyss. Submerge target minion or pull it into a void it's adjacent to. Yeah. Cool little removal. Call of the Sea. Minions adjacent to target water site. Step towards it, then submerge all minions there. Nice. We have some Croaking Swamps. Make some frog tokens. We have some more blooms to get the extra threshold. Got the Accursed Tower to break wards. Got the Dark Alloy. The first minion that enters here gains stealth. Sweet. Got Deep Sea. Oh, this is the double water threshold card. Very cool. Got Den of Evil. Stinging Kelp. Do a little bit of damage. We have 2 copies of Stream. Beautiful artwork. This is just kind of like a standard card. We got 2 copies of Spire. And then here is one of our elite sites. This one's sweet. Elder Ruins. Sacrifice a minion here, and then you can cast a Shogoth submerged here from our collection. That's where we have the Shogoths in the collection. And then finally, we have the Peculiar Port, an exceptional site of curious occurrences. Yeah, I like this deck a lot. It's very, very like Lovecraftian themed. And if you like just summoning big dudes, this is a sweet deck for it. I mean, we literally have like one of the biggest dudes with the Yogg Sothoth there. And there you have it. Is this worth it? Yeah, I think it is. In fact, I think this is one of the, I don't know how to put this, most complete, pre-constructed products on the market this year. You get 4 decks for $50. It's a pretty good value just in what you get as a playable out-of-the-box product. You can play this, 1v1. You can mix and match. You can play this in multiplayer. I think this is just a great way to get into Sorcery Contested Realm. It's a great way to just play a game, right? Like I mentioned before, you can treat this 100% like a board game. Sleeve these back up, put them back in the boxes, and you have just a 4-player, 1 to 4 player modular board game. The product itself, as I mentioned, was $66.60 MSRP, so $66.60. But I found it for a much lower, at least currently. So I got my copy for $50, right? $49.99 online. So your mileage may vary depending on when you watch this video. But I think for that price range, $50 to $66, I think it's pretty good, right? And like I said, you just get 4 really fun and playable decks with, very, very different, play styles and synergies and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, I definitely recommend this. I recommend this as much as I recommend the previous Sorcery pre-constructed decks. I think they're just a great way to get into the game and a great way to just play a card game with your friends and have a great time, which is at the core what Sorcery is, right? It harkens back to old school trading card games of the 90s from art and presentation, but also that kind of like sense of, you know, having a shared fun experience with your friends. You can play Sorcery competitively if you want to, but you don't have to. And the game kind of like encourages folks to just have a really good time. There's some wacky cards in here, so I think it lends itself to having that kind of experience. So highly, highly recommended. One of the best pre-constructed products of the year. Yeah, pick it up. Jam some Sorcery, have some fun, summon some skeletons, protect your dudes, summon an Elder God, or just call your opponent evil. Yeah, it's a good time. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you picked these up? How have you been playing these? What is your favorite avatar from this set? It's like Harbinger or Necromancer, but I really like all of these. Like the Persecutor can be a lot of fun too, but me, I'm a big Timmy boy, and I also like the random aspect of this. Necromancer is just so cool. I think Necromancer is like kind of a slam dunk. It's kind of a slam dunk. I imagine Necro is going to be most people's favorites, but maybe it's not. Maybe you like the Savior. I don't know. Let me know. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. See you later, everyone.